morning, everyone. Today, I'm with Dr. Asma. Many of you all know her. She's a gynecologist and an IVF specialist. Um, she's our consultant of our company. Those who don't know her, of course, she had been helping people globally as far as the natural healing is concerned. And those who don't know me, my name is Fatmi Ghani, and I had been involved with wellness without medicine since 2003. And it is very important for people who are sick to understand why they are getting sick, and there can be no better person like Dr. Asma who can explain about various diseases, what are the organs involved, and why that disease happened. That will be the first part of our talk. And the second part would be the natural cure. So welcome, Dr. Asma, for this special interview.
Thank you very much, Fatmi Bhai. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing good. As you see that I'm just sitting.
I can see the freshness background and fresh
Yeah.
Fatmi Bhai once
So
again.
you need not be in the beach, but looking at this beautiful beach with the palm tree, which is having that beautiful scene, you can have everything like virtually. So coming
Yes.
to this interview is basically because of a lot of people, I'm sure, asking you also and asking me that why this disease happens, and is there any natural cure? If a person is sick, then the person has to go to the doctor, and that is,
Yeah.
I'm sure, what you are also telling people, right?
Yeah. Sure.
So I'll be I'm going to mention about a disease name, and you need to kindly explain what is the organ involved for a people who don't know where it comes from and what is the cause of that problem. And then later part, I'm going to talk about the natural cure. So the first disease that I'm going to mention, which is very rampant around the world, is diabetes. Tell me, what is the organ, and why does it happen in a short form, so that everybody gets benefit out of it. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Okay. Diabetes basically it was discovered when people used to pass too much of urine and they started getting thirsty. So it was by word it means too much of urination. But then later on, it was found out that diabetes is of two types. One is diabetes mellitus, the other is diabetes insipidus, which is altogether a different root cause of excessive urination, excessive urine formation.
I would
And
request you,
yeah.
instead of using those medical
Medical, I would
terminology,
like, I will come to, I will come to
type 1 or type 2 or type
No,
3,
no,
so that,
I will,
okay,
but
go ahead,
this
please.
is different what I'm telling you.
Okay.
So initially when diabetes was discovered, it was not because of high sugar. It was named because of excessive urination. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
So there are two categories of diabetes. One is diabetes insipidus, which is nothing to do with sugar, but it is having excessive urination. It's altogether a different disease.
Okay.
And diabetes mellitus is the normal sugar that we usually talk about, high sugar, hyperglycemia. Okay. That diabetes is of two, again, because of their involvement of different age group and because of their root cause, was again divided into two categories, where, as you know, the diabetes is understood as high sugar level in the blood.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
High sugar level, when it happens, how it happens, it's a metabolic error, it's a genetic error, it is environmentally or medically created error sometimes. So there are so many reasons for diabetes mellitus. But what are the types that we see in our day-to-day life is generally type 2 diabetes, which occurs in later age of life, beyond 40, beyond 50, because Allah has given us enough insulin from our pancreas to maintain the balance or sugar control in our body.
Okay.
Which we call it glucose. The sugar that our body utilizes is glucose. So normally it is we label it as sugar in layman language. Basically, it is a glucose metabolism which gets affected, and the glucose, when it is not utilized, it increases in the blood, and this increased viscosity or thickness of the blood and lack of use of glucose gives you all the side effects of diabetes or high sugar. So what happens? It happens that when the baby was born, it has a genetic code of diabetes in the family, like an ignition key or a typewriting key with the baby. Now, by the passage of time, if you don't use that key, you will never get diabetic. And what is that key? That key is your lifestyle and your diet, which is going to jump on that key and excite the problem of diabetes.
Okay.
You understand? It's easy.
So the two things you are talking about, the lifestyle, which is very, very important. And the reason why today we have got so many people suffering from diabetes is their lifestyle has changed compared to 40, 50 years back and today.
Exactly. And once you don't, if you don't have a genetic code, then also you can ignite your insulin too much. You use too much of sugar in your early life, and your stock is, out of stock, and then you start losing insulin. Now, this is one type of diabetes, which is type 2, when you are not using your insulin, and you can use and get rid of diabetes, clinical diabetes. But there is another type of diabetes where this insulin, either it is not developed, it's not there, or if it is there, it is waved off very quickly from your pancreas. Pancreas cannot produce insulin. This is type 1. All right. And it can be by birth also.
Okay. And that is the reason why I've seen a lot of people who are having juvenile diabetes. At a lower age.
Yes. So in that case, you need definitely nothing but insulin to take care of that. Okay. And that it becomes a life. Okay, you take insulin, you are a normal person.
Okay.
So for us, diabetes is a silent killer in medicine. Yeah. But for physiologists and for the scientists, they say diabetes and blood pressure are not diseases anymore. They are altered physiologies which are dictated by somebody themselves.
So we are basically involved in getting this disease.
Exactly. Type 2, especially type 2 diabetes. Now, once we know the pancreas is able to produce good quality insulin, we can, how to make this insulin work to prevent diabetes? To use something in the diet which make it more sensitive to the sugar levels. Right. Easy to understand?
Yeah.
Easy to understand? Yeah. Meaning that if I have got to do something, I need to plan and I need to execute the plan. Same way, Allah has given us insulin to go at a certain level, and then it will work to do its complete job. But if it is resisted due to some disease, like insulin resistance, like genetic code of diabetes, that is, the resistance is offered to the insulin to work to control sugar.
Right.
That insulin resistance can be broken by natural supplements.
All right. I'll come to the supplement later. There are two things which have come to my mind. One is your field. I've heard about type 3 diabetes, which is during pregnancy, women get diabetes also. Can you just explain a little bit on that?
That is actually not type 3, that is type 2 only. But that is a physiological diabetes which occur in women who already have a tendency to become diabetic. They will become diabetic in later life, but they have insulin resistance. Now, when they have insulin resistance, it is stress during pregnancy. Pregnancy is a stressful situation for the systems. Like there is an increased demand of insulin, there is increased demand of sugar, there is an increased demand of all the developmental stages of somebody growing inside. So when this change of physiology happens, the metabolism of sugar cannot cope up. And the insulin is not either excreted from the pancreas. That's why mostly we control gestational diabetes, which is it is called during pregnancy, by insulin.
Okay. Okay.
We don't give products, we don't give drugs to reduce, to improve the insulin work. We cannot, because that becomes toxic to the baby.
All right. Okay. Okay.
So we have to give mostly the insulin to control gestational diabetes, or restrict the diet.
So the insulin that you give,
have a diet which can control the production of insulin.
all right.
The
insulin that you are giving is in a form of tablet or injection?
Injectable.
Injectable.
Insulin cannot be tablets. So far they haven't made any insulin as tablets.
All right. Now there is another very basic question. The job of the insulin, which is being produced by our pancreas, and what we are taking, is to break the food that we are taking into energy and fat. This is what I've heard. Can you just explain what is the job of the insulin?
Insulin is the gatekeeper of the cell.
Okay.
Simple.
Okay.
It works on each cell to improve the function. One function is to control sugar. Okay. One function is to control the metabolism or glycemic control that we say. When there is a high sugar, the signal goes to the insulin, to the pancreas, insulin is secreted, and the glucose in the blood is break down into energy, and it goes into the tissues. So once the glucose goes into the tissues, it goes off from the blood. So it is the utilization of glucose which is enhanced by insulin.
All right. So whatever food that we are taking, they are having that sugar content, right? Whether
every food, whatever food you take, it has to be broken down or made to be used by the body in terms of energy, and that energy is glucose. So whatever you take, it may, at the end of the day, will convert into glucose. Even if you take protein, and if the body is not taking enough glucose, that's how you do dieting. That's how you do dieting. That's how you take care of your diet of protein without taking sugar. Your protein, your protein gets converted into glucose, which is known as neoglucogenesis, meaning glucose originating from non-glucose sources. All right. This is how fat also gets converted into glucose. That's how you lose weight. When fats start burning, giving you glucose for the energy and nutrition, you start losing weight. All right. Otherwise, diabetic people would die. They are not taking sugar. The sugar is being utilized. How would they survive? They have to take the protein into glucose.
Another very important question which people keep on asking me, that with diabetes, people don't die. They die because of what diabetes is doing to the other organs. So what are the organs which are getting affected because of diabetes?
Diabetes is not a disease of an organ. It is a systemic disease. It affects every system, every cell. Because it is in the blood, it is having high sugar content. And when any high sugar containing blood goes to any cell, it is going to not to function, let the cell function normally. It's a high viscosity sugar containing blood, which will not give the balanced glucose, which will limit the oxygen intake, which will limit the work of the individual cell of any organ. And the most sensitive organs, where this capillary viscosity will affect, as you see, eyes, kidney, skin, you see, brain. Wherever there is end or organ capillary work is involved, where the viscosity of the blood is going to damage, that is going to get damaged. Cataract, forgetfulness, skin capillary problem, lack of healing, numbness. It will affect the neurons. When it affects the brain and the peripheral nerves, you start having numbness or inability to move. Arthritis. anything which is going to get repaired by itself is going to get delayed.
All
So
right.
delayed healing,
Mhm.
lack of energy to be utilized, because glucose is not going to get utilized, it
Mhm.
stays in the blood.
Mhm.
So the cell is getting deprived from nutrition and function.
Right. I have seen those people who are suffering. I mean, these are, you have gone into more details. The capillary reaction which is there inside the various organs. There are 4 or 5 areas that I have seen diabetic people are having, starting from their eye to some sort of a numbness in their toes, and then the kidney failure and heart problem. So many people they had this diabetes and then ended up with their heart problem and they died. So so these are the areas you think that these are very important that people should be careful.
This is the end organs. No? These are the end organs.
These are
If you
the
don't get enough nutrition at the cell level, which is the main vital organ, may it be liver, may it be liver, may it be kidney, may it be heart, may it be
Okay.
lung.
Okay.
Wherever the microcirculation is getting thick, no glucose, no oxygen properly going to the cells, it will be affected. Brain and heart, they are the most sensitive organs to be affected by lack of oxygen. Within seconds, damage happens. Within seconds.
Okay.
And it is fatal. That's why it is fatal. You know, it's fatal because of these effects.
Now, I've heard about heart attack being caused because of diabetes, but you're talking about the brain thing. Is stroke related to diabetes also?
Of course, in one way, because when you have thickness of the blood, the blood circulation get hampered, and when the circulation decreases, the oxygenation of the nerve cells decreases. And if it is joined, or if I say diabetes is married to a blood pressure,
yeah,
this is the fatal marriage.
Okay.
No cell is going to survive in these situations, because pressure more, sugar more, how to survive? Anything is possible.
All right.
And you see, 1/3 of our population are having these two together.
Yeah.
Blood pressure and sugar.
Yeah.
Blood pressure and sugar.
Blood pressure, sugar, they are together. Now coming to the natural cure. Okay. I've seen doctors who are advising that you reduce your weight, be very careful what you are eating, what you are drinking, do exercise, have proper sleep. So these are the general, advice given to the people who are suffering from diabetes. Can you a little bit elaborate or add something where people have control on this diabetes, or those who are not diabetic, they're pre-diabetic, they can get away from diabetes?
See, the control of diabetes is like a tap control. Now, if you don't let your diet to have higher carbohydrate content, that means sugars. Carbohydrate are the most eatable food in the world. Our diet is mostly carbohydrate, especially in the Eastern world.
When you say when you say carbohydrate, a lot of people, they don't know carbohydrate
like,
is a technique.
Rice,
What is
grain,
actually rice?
Grain, all the grains, rice, and in vegetables we have all the vegetables growing underground, like potatoes, sweet potatoes, whatever sweet, whatever sugar containing products in fruits, in your daily products, or in your vegetables, or in your animal sources also. You have certain sources which have heavy carbohydrate, but you should know that your food comprises of 3 major things: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And carbohydrates are the grains. Rice, wheat. If
rice,
you limit rice and wheat,
what about like noodles and spaghettis? People are
these are made from grains.
From
these are
grains.
made from grains. Yeah.
Okay.
Wheat or the white wheat, whatever you call, these are made from grains. These are purely carbohydrate.
So whatever we are eating on a daily basis, our main food is either rice or some
All
sort of a
bread.
bread or roti or spaghetti. So these are all carbohydrates.
Or carb.
So in your opinion, they always in the food pyramid, they talk about that much of carbohydrates to be taken. So what do you suggest to the audience who is watching this?
Nowadays, with the increasing obesity and increasing bad lifestyle, we should limit all the whites. I say omit white. White means rice, flour, sugar, more of salt. Take out white from your life.
Okay.
So you will improve. And see, 8% of basically it's an energy provider. Carbohydrate is only energy provider. It doesn't give you any security. Security is provided by proteins and fats, essential amino acids and essential fatty acids. They give you life.
Okay.
The sustainability of life is with carbohydrate. Energy.
What I'm getting is that if we cut off or reduce our carb, which is mostly, in subcontinent, we love to have rice and roti. So this is our main food. And then we have fish or egg or meat or vegetables, whatever. But that is what I'm seeing, and I'm sure you are seeing most of it. If we take it off from our diet, so you think that the sugar level will go down?
You will reduce the chances of getting sick, at least 60% chance of the reduction in your chances of getting any illness.
So if you take out the rice and the bread from our daily diet, so you think that what were you going to eat then?
See, what are we going to eat? We have to eat little bit of carbohydrate for energy. I'm not saying 100%. Take 1/8 of a carbohydrate. Rest of the 1/6 or rest of the diet should be proteins, water, fiber, and little bit of fat. That to be essential fatty acids to take care of your moisturizing effect on your gut. You need little bit of fat, good quality fat, high density fat. So this is what we need. That is another story. If we go into the fat metabolism, how do we use it? Our cholesterol in the egg is enough. 2 eggs in a day gives you enough fat to live on. You don't need too much of fat also.
For the whole day?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. You mentioned, I just noted down 2 points. You said that this sugar, which is diabetes in our blood, creates thickness in the blood, and it creates lack of oxygen, and that ultimately damages the organs, right? So that is
not only lack of oxygen, the byproduct of glucose metabolism. I'm not going to explain metabolism because it is very scientific. Only the byproducts of excessive glucose in the sugar, which when goes ultimately into the tissues, and the excessive toxins production is also going to increase the problem for the cells.
No, still, this is a very important word, metabolism. Say it in a simple way. Is it the breakdown of this sugar into whatever?
Metabolism is a method why anything, when goes into the system, gets adjustable at the cell level by not only breakdown, by making it compatible to be absorbed.
All right. Okay.
Easy to be absorbed. If I take salt in a hardcore shell and put it in water, do you think it will dissolve? It won't. You need to break the wall. You need to, like a capsule, you need to break the capsule so that the ingredients should come out and act. Same way, whatever you eat, it has to be broken down into smaller fragments, but that too needs enzymes.
Okay.
Need environment, need pH that goes into the system, and that system then take it to the tissues for taking care of the cells.
Excellent, excellent explanation. I remember now, pancreas uh, uh, produces insulin. Okay, I've read in some of the books. Correct me if I'm wrong. That even the organs which is creating insulin is our stomach also. So, are there any other organs other than the
Blood
pancreas
also.
which creates insulin?
Exactly. There are so many uh, systemic production of insulin, not only from the pancreas,
Mm.
from the ovaries, insulin-like growth factors,
Mm-hmm.
from the skin, from the
Mm.
stomach. So
Mm.
something similar to insulin is secreted, leptin, fat under your skin. So
Mm.
all these things get metabolically involved in insulin metabolism.
Mm.
And once the insulin is not utilized,
Mm.
that's why you see the people who are polycystic are secondary to insulin resistance.
Okay.
And later in life, these girls become diabetic,
Okay.
either gestational diabetes, or they will end up in infertility, or they will end up in hormonal problems with beards and with the central obesity and miscarriages or not conceiving. All goes with insulin,
Okay. Okay. All right.
inactivity or hyperactivity. But there are tumors.
Mm.
But there are tumors which also produce insulin. So that is
Okay.
another pathology.
All right. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So
So this is a
yeah.
long discussion on
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So now we are. I thought that this is such an important topic, and the way you are explaining to the people, it'll definitely clarify a lot of doubts that they have about diabetes. And let's keep our talk today only on diabetes. We'll not go to any other.
Yeah.
We'll have it on a weekly basis. One more thing
Mm.
which came to my mind is that lack of enzyme. If the enzyme which the body produces and we get from the food. Now, because of we cook the food so much, that enzyme thing is all gone. Now we are just having that food for the taste. What the body needs, it doesn't. Is we are not providing that enzyme from outside. So
Mm.
if the enzyme gets less, then there is a more work happening in the pancreas, and they have to produce more insulin. Can you explain this philosophy?
Let me tell you what is enzyme.
Mm.
Enzymes are proteins which work like a catalyst. They increase the work or they decrease the work.
Okay.
There are two type of workers anywhere.
Mm.
They are one, prohibitors. They prohibit amar and nahi. You see, amar bil maruf and nahi anil munkar.
Mm-hmm.
So there are certain people who are saying good things. There are certain people who are saying bad things. So
Mm-hmm.
both are needed to control. Both are needed for the balance. So
Okay.
there are enzymes which promote activity, but there are other enzymes which negate the activity.
Okay.
And enzymes are proteins, or they are like chemical agents which improve the digestion
Mm-hmm.
and which help these breakdown that we were mentioning earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Any metabolism is not going to happen without enzyme.
Okay. Okay.
And these enzymes are mostly made by our liver,
Mm-hmm.
by our stomach,
Mm-hmm.
by our pancreas,
Mm-hmm.
and there are certain enzymes even in your parotid and in your sublingual glands here.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see some things you put in directly, they go into directly into the system.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Right.
why we say there are certain food that goes directly into the system. How?
Mm-hmm.
Some food they don't need enzymes. They are directly absorbed. They are water soluble. They directly go from the covering of the tongue into the blood. That's why we doctors take the advantage of that and use medicine sublingually.
Mm-hmm.
We put it under the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
The heart savior drugs.
Okay. Okay.
Sublingual.
Right.
Same way, enzymes are needed. What you are saying, we take enzyme from outside only with certain fruits.
Okay.
Only with certain fruit like papaya
Mm-hmm.
that digest.
Right.
Even
right.
the mutton, if you put papaya into mutton, it will get digested. Protein gets break down.
Mm-hmm.
You say marination has happened. You
All
may
right.
marinate. Yeah.
Now, how is our enzyme connected with the insulin? I mean, what is the relationship and the diabetes?
Insulin is related to the enzymic activity by increasing the degradation of glucose in, and it is getting absorption into the system. Now,
Right.
if the insulin is not having good enzymic help, then it will not work.
Okay.
It will not work on sugars to get this digestion. But firstly, you need to excite insulin. You need to call the insulin to work.
All right.
If I need a servant, a cook, I will not call a watchman.
All right. Right.
I will call a cook.
Okay.
Same way, if my glucose level is high, then signal goes to the brain, then to the pancreas. Send me my watchdog insulin to digest, to let this glucose do something.
Right.
Go
right.
back to work instead of in the blood.
All right. Right. Okay.
So this is how insulin gets work out.
All right.
But there are certain type of insulin which are not working.
Okay.
And where there is a special food needed to let this lock open of insulin.
All right.
And
So
then we can control diabetes.
So now I come to the our most important question. You explained the cause. You explained lifestyle and how all this thing works. How these food supplements like Ganoderma, which is king of herbs, like spirulina, which is the queen of herbs, which is the blue-green algae, and Reishi is the mushroom. Then we have got a noni fruit, and then we have cordyceps. I mean, you have been using it. I have been using it since last 18 years. And to the people who are listening, let me tell you, my family has got a diabetic history.
Yeah.
And my sugar was borderline back in 2003. And when I started taking myself for my own stomach ailment, which again do not have the cure in the modern medicine, that's why I was open to these natural products. I didn't have any idea. So the bonus that I got after 2 years was that in 2005, when I went for the biochemistry, my sugar level came down to the normal, which is about 85, 90. That's in fasting. Fast forward, I'm 15 years older, from 2005 to 2020. And Alhamdulillah, my sugar is same, that is normal. Now the question, you as a doctor, you had been doing a lot of research in these natural products, which are organic too. I'll again repeat for the benefit of the audience, there is a product called Ganoderma, commonly known as Reishi or Lindsay. This is a mushroom, which has got 400 active ingredients. Number two is spirulina. This is a blue-green algae. This is superfood. This is not supplements. And which is available in pharmacies and all that. And the third one is cordyceps. This is another type of a mushroom, which is helping our body in different ways. And the fourth is called noni. The scientific name is Morinda cetrifolia, and it has got scientifically documented 200 active ingredients. So these are the four products that people have got help, benefited, and I have got benefited personally. So I would like you to now explain, as a doctor who had been doing some research too, that how these products are helping people who are suffering from diabetes.
There are two ways of controlling sugar. One, increase the consumption. It doesn't stay into the blood. Let it be consumed by the tissues. Or increase the insulin production so that it is quickly being used.
Yeah.
Okay, these are the two ways, mechanically, technically, logically, to control any high sugar to reach to a diabetic level.
Okay.
Now, what does this product do? First of all, as you know, they are adaptogens. Most of our products are adaptogens. What do they do?
What is adaptogen?
Adaptogen means there are non-toxic substances which even in a higher dose not going to harm any cell, and that will balance the situation according to the need. Meaning, if there is a high sugar, the signal goes to the pancreas, we need more insulin. Or if there is increased insulin, the signal goes to the insulin to start working. The enzymatic controls are getting better. And then at the cell level, the consumption of glucose increases. When the cell increase glucose uptake, taking the glucose from the blood, it start getting better because it is energy. And the deprivation of glucose from the blood lowers the blood sugar level. So that's how both ways these products are helping. One is at the cell level by increasing the use of glucose. See, how do you affect a bag to be balanced of that capacity? Like, for example, if I have a bag of 40 ml water content, if I put more, it will burst. What do I do? I make an extra way to let it out.
Okay.
One. Or I reduce the input.
Okay.
To maintain it 40 ml. So you have to reduce sugar.
Okay.
And
that
you
makes
have
sense.
to increase the uptake of the cell so that you do exercise. If you don't do exercise, you need to have a product in the blood to make the cell work more. And that's what our Ganoderma does to increase metabolic rate.
All right, that is one.
When metabolic rate बढ़ जाता है, when it increases, the uptake of glucose from the blood increases. So the blood loses the glucose. That's how you control your glucose by uptake.
All right.
By increasing the glucose, you get the utilization more.
All right. And you mentioned there's a problem in diabetes, which is it is having a problem with deficiency in oxygen. Right.
Yeah.
And
oxygen will always be deficient where there is inability to uptake oxygen, meaning the cell is respiring through chemicals. You need to have a proper chemical gate, and insulin is the gatekeeper of the cell.
Right.
If it is not working or it is working more, both things can happen.
Both things can happen. Okay. Okay.
Oxygen
so now
toxicity is also something.
Everybody knows that this mushroom takes in oxygen. So when we are consuming this mushroom, almost 1.5 times there is an increase of oxygen in our body, right? So this is also something which is happening naturally by intake of this natural supplements.
If you see the formula of sugar,
right.
CHO,
right,
carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen.
Yeah.
So if you don't use your sugar, the O2 is also not going to be free to be used.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen is sugar.
Okay.
And if you don't break it down, you will not get oxygen particles.
Right. Right.
This is one way that sugar helps in the respiratory system of each cell.
Right. So you explained about the reishi. Now I come to the second most important supplement, which is called spirulina, which is a protein, which is a superfood declared by WHO in 1974. So how spirulina is helping people with diabetes?
Oh my God, it's something which you mentioned about enzymes.
Yeah.
You mentioned about pancreas. You mentioned about body. No body is complete without protein.
Right, right.
So every cell needs to be repaired by protein. So you need protein to be you.
All right.
To be your skin, to be having good hair, having good nails, having good enzymes, having good pancreatic cells, having good digestion, having a good even oxygen uptake by the red cells. Hemoglobin, heme, iron, globin, protein, both are there in spirulina.
Okay, okay.
That's why it is known as green blood. So second thing, micronutrition. No cell can live without micronutrition. B1, B6, B12, all the essential amino acids, all the essential fatty acids which are necessary for life of a cell, may it be of diabetic patient or may it be of cancer patient, needs repair and regeneration and a good diet to prevent, make an antibody, and to work to get rid of a disease, and then if you are dead cell, to repair and make another cell. So building block, maintenance block, sustaining block, oxygen supplying block, and survival block. Everything spirulina has.
Wow. Well, I mean, that is the reason why it is called superfood.
That's right.
Now I come to the third product, which is called cordyceps, which is again a mushroom. And it is said that this is a natural lungs and a kidney tonic. Can you explain a little bit more again the relationship of cordyceps with diabetes?
Of course. See, we have just mentioned that diabetes is a systemic disease.
Yeah.
It affects, it is there in the blood. That's why you took hold of it, hyperglycemia, right? It was the blood containing sugar.
Yeah.
And the blood, where is the blood? In the blood vessels.
Yes.
And what are the micro blood vessels called? Capillaries. And the cordyceps works on capillaries.
Okay.
So it sustains the health of the transport channels of life.
Wow.
Now, what are the transport channels? May it be brain capillaries, may it be eye capillaries, kidney, liver, lung. You cannot live without these channels.
All organs.
All organs. The biggest organ of your body is the blood vessel. And the cordyceps works on the blood vessels. So when it sustains the health of the transport system, like for example, now if there is a flood in Karachi, all the transport system is khalas. How will the food go to the market?
Right.
You don't have transport.
So there is a clogging.
Truck is very,
there's
beautiful
all
truck is standing in the corridor.
And
outside,
it
and it
reach
cannot
to the
carry.
source.
Yes.
It makes
so
sense.
you need a good transport system.
All
Good transport system is through cordyceps, plus it increases the oxygen capacity through the lungs, through the liver. When the oxygen goes into the lungs, when this capillary action gets better, higher oxygen absorption happens, and this oxygenation is life for the liver, is life for the kidney. So especially, and of the genitals also, genetic tract, ovary and the testes. Don't forget, cordyceps is supplying good circulation to the gonads. So diabetes having bad effects on each organ.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of people suffering from diabetes have got a problem with impotency. I mean, you are a gynecologist, and just using our products, they have found a benefit, a result.
Not only impotency, infertility.
Infertility.
It decreases the sperm motility.
Right.
It increases the abnormalities in the sperm. It decreases the circulation of the ovaries. It increases the chances of the cell death.
Right. That I'm going to talk, Dr. Asma, when I go into the gynae part, I'm going to talk more on that. And my last product is, of course,
No, I'm talking about diabetes.
All right.
I'm talking about diabetes.
Diabetes
affecting all systems.
All these systems. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. And the last product is called noni, which is a very popular fruit juice and is a fruit of the Pacific, Tahiti, Hawaii, and all that. So it has got about 200 active ingredients documented. Now, how noni is helping people from diabetes?
As it's the word said by Professor Neil Solomon, very well said.
Yeah.
You name it, it has it. You name the problem, it has the solution. For Morinda citrifolia, he says like that. So anyways, what is the main system of your body which gives you life after oxygen? Your gutter, intestine. If you don't have a proper intestinal tract, no food is going to get into the system.
What are you talking about? GIT, gastrointestinal tract, which is from mouth to the end, is about 22 feet. How many feet?
22 feet.
22 feet. Yeah.
So if you don't have a proper gut, you will end up in disease, deficiencies, death, 3D, and deformities. Because if you don't absorb calcium, you will get bone deformities. If you don't absorb iron, you get blood deformities. If you don't absorb good sugar, you will get hypoglycemia. If you don't absorb enzymes, you will not get any digestion. If you don't absorb any of the micronutrients, you will be a vegetable.
And that is, I remember now.
That is why where Morinda citrifolia comes in. It takes care of the biggest system.
That is the gut GIT.
It flushes it off. It increases the absorption. It increases the vitality. It detoxifies the abnormal food content to go into the system. And that's why lack of load on the general systems of the body.
Right.
To detoxify yourself. And immunizes yourself. So what happens in diabetes, when you don't get the proper nutrition, because the nutrition is in the blood, it is not going to the tissues. So what will happen? The nerve will not work, the muscles will not work, the heart will not work. So all these fine tuning of the system will not happen. So Morinda works on the nerves also. Morinda citrifolia works on the nerves. So it detoxifies the swellings of the nerves. That's why it works in Alzheimer's, which is also a part of diabetic neuropathies.
All right.
Diabetic nephropathy, when it affects the kidneys, it works there. When it works onto the peripheral nerves, it works there.
All right.
So the products to prevent the complications of diabetes.
All right. Amazing. Amazing. Those people who do not catch the person who is an authority in Noni, Neil Solomon. He has written a book also on Noni and the benefit of the Noni. So you can go to the YouTube and find out from this man who is an authority in Noni. That is one. And here I remember the quote of our beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He said, Maida al-Baital Da. Your stomach is the house of disease. Take care of your stomach, and many of your diseases will go away. Remembering another thing, I'm a part of a global conference which takes place by two gentlemen, father and a son, John Robbins and Ocean Robbins, and they have got a website also called Food Revolution, and there are a lot of naturopath doctors, and there are doctors like you who are talking, and they say that what I remember very important is there is a direct connection between gut and brain, and the brain and the gut. They are both very much interconnected. So it is so amazing. I mean, those who are really looking for a natural healing, natural cure, and more important, our products. I have seen in so many years traveling to so many places where people have got benefit, not only the sick people, where we are talking about diabetes, but what about the people who are not diabetic and they can get into this diabetic the disease because our lifestyle is completely changed now compared to 40-50 years back. We are now sitting on the chair, working on the computer for hours and hours. So that is one of the reasons why so much of diabetes is there. So now you mentioned about nerve. So I am, adding another product called Lion's Mane. So Lion's Mane, for the benefit of the people who don't know what Lion's Mane is a mushroom. Another mushroom. You can again Google it. Lion's Mane. And there is one website that I would recommend to everyone. Rather than just Googling it, go to this website called pubmed.gov. P-U-B, that is B for ball, med.gov. This is basically a short form of publication medicine. And this is a Bible for the doctors. So whatever search you want to do, go to this website rather than just doing journal, because there are negative views and the positive views. These are the views of scientists and doctors and researchers with the evidence, not
Evidence-based.
evidence based and all that. So can you again say something about lion's mane and how it is helping people with diabetes?
Lion's mane is not only when we say lion's mane, it works like a lion. So it is hericium. It has got a hericium, and it has got the enzymes, and it has the beautiful thing known as nerve growth factor.
Nerve growth factor, yeah.
So we allopath doctors, we don't believe that any nerve when it is cut can be repaired or can regrow.
Right.
But it has proven that it can regrow a sustained injury in a nerve. So it can repair a nerve. This has been proven by giving lion's mane to many of the people. Now, especially what happens in diabetes. Now, lion's mane, when working on nerves, it not only affects the good. See, our human body is such a fantastic thing that Allah has controlled it with cables. You know, like a powerhouse, a transformer. We have a transformer here, which transforms cellular function into habits, into cultures, into individualities. So what these cable system that we got from our parents is being affected by the environment, as you said, toxin imbalances, and also by habits. And sometimes poisons which we are taking every day. The sensitive most thing which gets affected after the blood and oxygen is the nerve. The current, when it doesn't flow properly to the affected organs to work, like your stomach, if it doesn't get a proper nerve supply, you get constipation.
Right.
So and it happens in diabetes. You lose lot of water. The water is retained by the body by not passing stool at the right time. So you get constipated. When you get constipated, because of the diabetes, the gut is not moving. The lion's mane, as a nerve growth factor, prevents nervous injuries in diabetes. It improves the gut motility. It improves your numbness. It improves your psyche. It improves your depression. And it improves your digestion. So all these beautiful things can be achieved by taking lion's mane as a combined therapy. Reishi, spirulina, moringa, cordyceps, lion's mane.
So there are 5.
This 5.
Yeah.
These 5 is for diabetes.
All right.
I have so many testimonials with me. My husband, he's diabetic. He wants to eat mango every day. Can you think of a diabetic person eating mango secretly, hiding into the bathroom? I can. Yes. I can. But Alhamdulillah, he's a heart patient, he's hypertensive, he's hypothyroid. Full medical school he has himself. But when he takes all these products genuinely, his sugar never go beyond 9900 fasting. Lovely. Since 10, 12 years.
Right.
He's not on insulin.
Yes.
Not a regular consumer of medicine even.
Right. So I will, just for the people's benefit, lion's mane, in short, in summary, is a brain tonic, and what doctor has explained is a stomach tonic. Just short. You would like to have your stomach, your gut to be good and healthy, and your brain to be healthy.
Nerve tonic.
It
can be seen. Your stomach is not handled by the brain alone. It is by the other system of the paraspinal cord, which you don't know what is happening, how your bladder is getting controlled, how your intestine is not getting controlled. It is by your sympathetic and parasympathetic system, which is outside brain.
Right.
So this is where lion's mane comes in. Brain and the nervous channels, the nerves, systems of the nerves in the body. Even the numbness. If you don't feel good in the, how does Lion's effect there? It not only reduces the sugar, it also increases the sensitivity of the nerves to handle.
Yeah, yeah. All
So
right.
it's a
And
combined,
and
folks.
and the people suffering from diabetes, the end part of the body, which are your toes and your finger, they get
They are
numb.
the most affected parts.
They are the
They
most
get the
affected
most
part.
affected.
Yeah, yeah. And you mentioned about regeneration, doctor, and I believe reishi or Ganoderma, if taken for a long period of time, what Ganotherapy explained by Dr. Lim is, there are
Repair.
five parts to it. It scans, it detoxifies, it's repair, it builds, and the last part is called regeneration.
Repair, yeah.
Repairing and all that. And finally, I'm seeing all those who are taking these products on a regular basis worldwide, 10, 15 years. Some of course, I'm less than 20 years, 25 years. I'm seeing that they are above 50, above 60, and some are even above 70. And the energy those people have is amazing. So regeneration is there in the Rishi. And you have mentioned right now it is in Lion's Mane also, right?
Even in cordyceps.
All
Even
right.
in cordyceps. And regeneration needs cementing. Regeneration needs repair. Regeneration needs bricks. Your
Right.
spirulina.
All right.
That
So
makes the brick.
all
All these
are kind
and
of giving.
don't forget, all these products have 5 common things. They are food supplements.
Right.
Any amount you can take. They are working on your immunity, may it be any disease. And they are anti-aging. They are antioxidants.
Uh-huh.
That's why we are much beautiful than what we were at 15 years back.
Okay.
This is why you are different today. This
right.
is why you look younger today, Fatih bhai. This is the reason.
Yes, thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us this beautiful herbs. And thanks to DXN, thanks to Dr. Lim, who has, made all the effort since 1993 to get to the people. And that is the reason why I've got 10 million people using these products. I mean,
of course.
that is a clear proof. Our company, which is DXN, can you see it? It's right there.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I make sure I keep it near my heart. Can you see that?
Of course.
Just next to my heart is
and
DXN.
It's a red heart.
And it's a red heart. Yeah. So now coming to the last question, which a lot of people must be thinking or they are trying to ask. So those questions I've got in mind. But before I ask that question, I would like to add that all those who are suffering from diabetes, you have to please take your medicine. Whether it is glucophage, Dynol, whatever medicine, tablets, or you are taking insulin. Our products, natural and organic products, they are not medicine. They are not specific to your pancreas and diabetes. It goes, as doctor has explained, in the cause of the problem, what is causing it. It is for sick people as well as for healthy people. Now, if you would like to, you are feeling good and you think that now I don't need to go to the doctor. No, you have to go to the doctor. You have to find out once he takes out, not from here the blood should be taken out, and then he tells you, okay, you reduce your medicine or your insulin or you stop it. So this is an advice. This should be very clear. Whatever products you are taking, you still have to go to the doctor and get his consultation in order to whatever reduction or stopping of the medicine, and you continue taking this food supplement. This is food, not medicine, right?
True.
So I hope this is very important thing. I thought that I'll explain to the audience. Last question, which is again, people ask me how much to be taken in the beginning. All these 5 products that you are talking. If you can kindly, doctor, explain in terms of with the tablets or grams, all the 5, the Rishi, the Murunzi, the Spirulina, the Lion's Mane, and the Cordyceps, how much to be taken and for how much period of time?
See, basically, as Dr. Lim has already suggested all the time, to start with a minimum dose to acclimatize the body with a new thing which is challenging your body. Now, this is a challenge to the body which is going to fight for you to the bad body. So you have to start with a small dose like Rishi, half scoop, which is already there, 250 milligram. Starting with that, you can mix with Moranzi or with water. Take it fasting before food. Take your blood sugar, take it fasting, and continue your monitoring your sugar, and let it be handled because it has a higher content of polysaccharides. Rishi has a higher content of polysaccharides. So people do ask me, it will increase the sugar. Yes, it may. But when it starts working in a higher dose, then it will start reducing the sugar to a palatable level. So start with half scoop, make it 1 scoop, then 2 if you are having RGGL capsules. I have seen maintenance of sugar even with black coffee. People have reduced their sugar even with black coffee. It's very little amount of Rishi there. So depending upon how chronic is the disease, since how long you are using, how much product are you using, what type of diabetes, are you on insulin, are you on medication? If you don't have insulin in your system, then don't stop insulin while you are taking Rishi. You continue insulin, but keep continuing monitoring your sugar levels. Because when your pancreas starts producing insulin, then this will be a double dose. One you are taking, one Rishi is producing. And if you are on medication which are letting your insulin work, then also you have to keep on monitoring your sugar at least 2 to 3 times a week when you are on a 3 to 4 pairs of RGGL. That is 1 gram of RGGL, 1 gram of Rishi if you are taking regularly.
When you say 1 gram, let's decode it. When you say 1 gram in terms of teaspoon, how much?
In terms of teaspoon, it's 1, depends on which spoon you are taking. Teaspoon. If you are taking that scoop.
No, we're not talking about scoop. We are just talking about teaspoon, which is, for the tea, not the tablespoon.
So then it has to be 2 to 3. 2 to 3. Yeah, if you have a
teaspoon of Rishi mixed with water, and 2 tablespoons of Moranzi, and how many cordyceps and spirulina and lion's mane?
Minimum cordyceps 2, 6 to 8 spirulina, and minimum lion's mane 2. If you have neuropathy, increase lion's mane to 6.
All right. So this is, you are talking about minimum
and
dosage.
Depending upon the requirements.
Now if a person wants to take more, our product does not have any side effects. I mean, those who are listening, it doesn't have, whatever the body needs, it will absorb. Whatever the body does not need, it's going to flush it out. So
of course, it's not going to harm you.
Now, doctor, if you can say, this is the minimum you have said. Now, if you would like to go to the max, and maintain it to see our diabetes is going down or getting better, what will be the maximum dose?
It has to have at least 4 scoops of sugar, 4 scoops of Rishi.
Okay.
And you have to take Moranzi before each food.
Okay.
2 tablespoons before each meal. Because now you are also controlling your carbohydrate intake.
Right.
Okay.
Right,
you are doing exercise. You are reducing the carbohydrate and you are increasing the Rishi, and you are maintaining your medicine. So you have to be very careful. Cordyceps you have to increase if you have associated blood pressure and associated numbness and coldness of your extremities. Increase cordyceps to 4.
Okay.
Increase lion's mane to 6.
Okay.
Spirulina you can increase if you want to reduce your weight. Increase spirulina to 10 to 20 a day before food. That will limit your carbohydrate intake.
Right.
That will also control your sugar and limit your carbohydrate intake.
Right. I would like to now end with a very important, again, I don't want to go through the entire summary. It's going to take another 10 minutes. What doctor just now mentioned is while you are taking these supplements, this is supplement and this is the sugar level. So what will happen, and he's taking medicine also. So there are, this is the problem, which is the, let's take it like that. This is the problem, sugar. And this is the medicine that the person is taking, all right? And this is the supplement which they are taking. So what happens as the supplement is going in the body, so the sugar level will go down. When it goes down, then that person is an overdose of medicine. He continues with that thing. So all the more what she mentioned is that you should be doing the monitoring. Monitoring is good, but then I would also recommend that you should go to the doctor.
Yeah, you have
because
to monitoring by the doctor.
by the
Monitoring by
doctor.
the doctor
Yeah,
himself.
yeah, yeah. Usually people are pricking and they're finding it out.
This blood is not a practical
Practical
approach.
thing. Yeah. So that is one thing I wanted to again clarify this point. One. Number two, once again, I say now without family history of diabetes, people are having diabetes because of our lifestyle, because of our stress, because of our eating. Everything is changed. And that is the reason why millions of people are suffering from diabetes. India, I've heard, is the diabetic capital of the world. I mean, so many people are suffering from diabetes. So this is not only for diabetic people. Our product is for people who are healthy. You don't want to go into that phase where a person can get the diabetes. So like diabetes.
Before I forget,
Sure.
we are forgetting stress.
Yes.
Now the stress also increases sugar. Even diabetic people will will make their diabetes uncontrollable by getting stress. So it's a vicious circle. And our products decrease, they are anti-stress products. So when they decrease stress, they decrease the load of diabetes also on the stress monitors, the stress monitoring cells and the chemicals there. So that's how you also indirectly controlling diabetes.
Absolutely right. I mean, thanks for adding that stress factor. And who doesn't have stress today? Especially in a time like this. This is the new era. This is the new normal that we are in. I mean, everybody's afraid of this COVID-19. Now, it is not only diabetes. Now, if you would like to take care of your health, to protect yourself, these are the products that you need to take. And make sure that you talk to people. Not from the point of your business or selling the product, from the point of helping yourself, your family, your community, and all those that you are interacting. So thank you very much for this valuable time. I'm sure a lot of people will benefit from this small talk that we had, which has gone to almost, I think, about close to an hour, but it is worth it. Reason being, a lot of people who are asking questions, you have found the answer in this interview. So please do not call Dr. Asma that what I have to take for diabetes. This recording, you should listen at least 3 times and share it with your people to help people. We are the people who are serving people, and no person is better than Dr. Asma, who had been serving the mankind through her speeches and seminars and research. So thank you. God bless you, Dr. Asma. Stay safe.
Thank you very much.
Stay healthy.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bhai, for giving me time. And also, please request for the comments and questions. If they have any questions, we can have a Q&A session for diabetics, for complications. Then that can also benefit them individually.
Right. So we can have, whatever the comments or things are, because I'm going to upload this into YouTube. I'm going to send it to your website. So any question that you have, but please, I would like you to please go through this recording at least 3 times, because there are a lot of technical and medical words that she has used, which is new for you. For me also, I mean, I've been involved with this lovely health and wellness industry for almost 20 years. And I know some of the words, but still some of the words were new to me. So that is all for today's edition. The next talk I'm going to have is about her expertise, which is gynae, which is a very, half of the world population are women and half is men. And the gynae problem is with women, but fertility problem is with both. So we are going to talk next week on this topic. If you have any questions or you have anything to clarify, I would like you all to have your question posted in personal, my Facebook, which is called Health, Wealth, and Personal Development. I'm going to put this also over there. And if you have got questions on gynae, so write it down in that comment box, and I'm going to ask those questions from an expert. Thank you and take care and good morning, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much, Fatima.